Miss out. And boom, we're recording too. What's up, everybody? Your boy Darren Brown, Uncooked Podcast. You know what we do, you know why we do it. I got my man, the myth and the legend, Joe Lockett, in the building today. What's up, Joe?
What's going on, D? You good, man?
Kung Fu Joe. I'm doing good, man. Doing real good. So we're gonna lay down the law today. And the reason I want to jump on the podcast really with you is because, you're a cat that, you were not afraid to really plunge into social media. You learned the hard way a little bit, but you really took the time to really learn it. And I know you get up in the morning early to get your content, and it seems like it's been paying off for you pretty big. So just walk us through for the people that don't know, like, where you were before with social media, some of the lessons you learned. What advice would you give to some people that are just like, I don't like posting every day, and that are kind of intimidated from even, jumping out there?
Right. Well, let me tell your audience this so they can stay locked in real quick, right? I just hit 1.9 million on my social media. Okay, numbers don't lie. Y'all can go look at my page, Joe Lockett Show. They just said my reach last month was 1.9. So y'all may want to lock in. I may have something to say to y'all. Okay. Real talk, D. You gave me the basics of it, based on knowing what social media was. Content for everybody's king, right? But understanding your platform, and this is the, can we curse on here?
You do whatever you want. It's my
okay,
show.
I want to make sure. All right. If you don't know what your platform is, or understanding your business, D.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. The greatest thing is when you and I met, I did understand my business. I didn't know how to market my business. Now, can we just break it down deep for the people? We're going to go Beavis and Butthead.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Okay.
Come on, roll with it.
All right. For everybody listen to this thing and y'all share that with your friends right now, okay? Because me and D finna break this shit down to y'all, right? Real talk. Okay, here you go. There's a difference between branding and marketing. We want to start right there, okay?
Facts.
If you are marketing, right, that means your business is already branded. So when you start paying your marketing dollars, that means you're finna go start to get money coming back to you, okay? Right. If nobody knows who the hell you are, you can't market. You got to brand yourself. And if you're branding yourself, you're not going to get a return on your investment up front. You got to understand that that's 3 to 6 months to a year of branding who you are. Yep. Unless you got a product or you got a celebrity. Listen to what I'm saying. The product is branded or the celebrity is branded, then you can market your product or whatever you're doing. But if none of that shit is branded, you can't market it. You can't expect a return on something nobody knows about. You get people who get lucky. You may have some gimmicky type stuff out there, but real talk, D. If people don't know who you are, you can speak to that.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta. I see so many people that are just big, just big on in the market, and that's just coming from, I think, people just using social media for entertainment. I want to have 1 million followers. I want to have, a billion, views on TikTok or whatever, But and when, to your point on branding, and I've had several clients I've had to explain this to, your product has to have a niche too. You're not just like even with your radio show. You don't just talk about any old whatever thing. Like, you have kind of a lane, you have a theme. Your show is together. It's not. So I try to tell some of my clients that when you have a product, brand your product. You sell soap. I always use soap because it's easy. Don't just say, "Oh, here's a general bar of soap." No, this soap is for athletes. This soap is for pregnant women. This soap is for children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So really, taking your product a step further and telling your story too. Have you ever found, and let me ask you this question, when you sure. first really kind of got started till now, what's the difference to you between the way you feel people receive you on social media versus radio?
I think with radio, people like to listen and possibly call in. Mm-hmm. With social media, they interact right away. And if I say their name or I acknowledge them, they actually get to talk to that person that they're talking that's actually on live radio. So that's like a thrill for them. It's like a testosterone boost. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like on steroids. Imagine that you can talk to Steve Harvey right away and he see you. Yeah. Well, you may want to pitch your idea to him. You may want to say, "I love you so much, Steve. Doing great." Or, "Joe, you look good today." Or, "Joe, I love the way your arms are looking." You know what I'm saying? You neck down sex. You know what I'm saying? Hashtag neck down sex in the building. You know what I'm saying? But it's the instant reaction that you get on social media that you don't get on radio. Radio, I have to work like really, really hard to get you. Call in at 866-245-5480. If you're locked in right now, you liking what I'm saying, give me a call and I have to wait. On social media, they can instantly hit a hard or whatever, and I see the instant reaction.
True. Good point. Really good point. Yeah, I noticed that too. It's because there's so many ways of getting your message out and your name across. Social media is good, but there are a lot of people that are like, I don't do social media. So let me ask you this then. Let me throw this at you. Sure. Were you ever I feel like because you have a background in radio, you were never camera shy, you know. But did you ever feel like intimidated about starting this process? Because remember, we
I
talked
did.
about the last time. I would
Yeah,
tell
I
you
did.
had to start over. you
Yeah.
weren't trying to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I never did this, but I haven't been to school for. I don't have a broadcasting degree. Of course, I was afraid, but I was more afraid not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either when that opportunity hit me, you either fucking do it or you don't.
Right.
Right.
Facts.
So it's up to you. I mean, D, I'm not trying to make them be you or me.
That's true.
You either want this stuff or you don't want it.
True.
Okay. You want to be camera shy and you got a phone that you paid $1,000 or $3,000 for, and you don't want to step in front of it and talk and delete the shit if it looks bad. That's on you.
That's true.
Don't be mad if we making it and you don't. Okay. The platform where you can perform every day is free. You can go to Facebook and do a story and delete the shit if it don't work. But if you ain't trying, you can't expect you or me or anything we saying here is going to work for you if you're not trying to put the work in yourself.
I like that. And you know, it's really not as hard as people say. You know, I think it sounds a lot more time consuming than it really is. It is when somebody says, you know, post every day. As an example, I kind of rubs me the wrong way because you can't just be posting any old random, you know, BS every day. But it seems like now the even shorter content is getting more esteem. So like these TikTok videos and stuff are 15 seconds, 30 seconds, you know, and I was just consulting with a client the other day and I was telling her she has a product and I said, listen, what if you just did a 15 to 30 second description of your product and built out a store on TikTok? What about that? You know, I think that to your point earlier, you know, social media moves. Sometimes, you know, YouTube is going to bless you different for your longer format, you know, than your 15 seconds on TikTok. So, you know, how have you been able to move between the different social media platforms, you know, and what have you kind of found like the sweet spot on each one as you've been, you know, coming through in your journey?
You know, for mine, you know, I started out on Facebook when Facebook didn't even have Facebook Live. So I always had an audience there. I always wanted to get on YouTube. I've recently been on YouTube for like the last 7 or 8 months, right? And building that channel.
Right.
But for me, Facebook works because I have an audience there. I do see the opportunity with TikTok. But for me, that's kind of gimmicky for what I want to do. And I got to have, if I'm going to TikTok, I got to have a gimmick that's going to get me paid. I'm not trying to build another audience. I've built the audience on Facebook. I've built the audience on radio. I'm building the audience on YouTube. I'm not trying to build another audience on TikTok. When I go to TikTok, those videos need to lead to a link where you're going to click and you're going to buy subscriptions from me. You're going to hire me. You're going to, have me buy my product or something like that. So that's where I am. A lot of people, if you're not branded, you did an awesome video the other day, like 2 days ago. You know, this is my age. This is who I am. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? But that right there introduced you to TikTok. You see what I'm saying? Right. So when people didn't do that, but your next thing that you do has to do with what you're doing. So people start following you just for those kind of videos, but that leads to a sale. See, TikTok is about entertainment. It is. I don't have time to entertain you. I entertain all damn day long. So I'm not going to go to TikTok and try to entertain y'all so I can look at my views and be happy about it.
But I think honestly though, Joe, no, you were crushing on TikTok though. But I see what you're saying now. And this was kind of even a different, lane for me because it's hard to take something where it's a lot of people doing silly stuff. And then, it's a much higher entertainment value than it is like, professional or informative. So what I decided to do with TikTok is, I did the little name age thing that was going around. Right. But what I decided to do is do, hey, this is Darren Brown, your business consultant. Here's your pro tip of the day. You need a CRM, or you learn what a sales funnel is, or understand the difference between brand and marketing. So I'm trying to bring something a little bit different, maybe if it has to have some little effect or something, because it is to me a large untapped audience. And I think they're going to buy off TikTok? Not necessarily, but it's still that little silly video I made. I think it's 1,200 views. So it's still a little sweet spot to kind of, maybe get in, even a little bit more. So
the best entertainer wins at the end of the day on social media.
Crazy? Yep.
Bro, but one thing I had to learn, and I know it, but I have to keep telling myself, I'm in business, but when I get on my cell phone, it's social.
Yeah.
People don't want to talk to me about my business. People don't want to buy from my business. They want me to tell them about my business. They want to see me entertain in my business, but they don't care about buying from me for real. Right. Yep. So those 15 seconds or 20 seconds or 1 minute they actually spend with me, they want me doing something or saying something outrageously crazy to them to get on their nerve. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna keep your attention. But if I'm saying I need you guys to go to www.joelockettShow.com and click on media package and buy one of my packages,
Right.
That's a totally different thing. That's a shameless plug, but that's why I need y'all to go to, if y'all want to buy a media package, go to click on that media package. It's all about that sales funnel, baby. Go
It
to
is.
Lockett,
It
the
is.
media package is right there.
Got to do
Um,
it. Got to do it.
but I would tell your listeners on D,
Mm.
the biggest thing is know the difference between branding and marketing, and know your business. A lot of folks don't know their damn business, and they want you to do the job for them. They want to come to you or
Mhm.
somebody like me or an expert and think that that expert is going to get the results because you paid me $5,000, you paid me $10,000.
Right.
Can I save everybody their damn money?
Right.
If you take your shit to Steve Harvey, okay, and
Mhm.
put it on his show, Steve
Right.
Harvey can't sell your stuff if he's not going to get behind it and you pay him a sponsorship thing. He's going to play it, but nobody cares about your product for them 30 seconds.
Right.
You may sell a couple of them, okay, but that's it. Steve Harvey don't have the Oprah effect. So he has the Steve Harvey effect. 30
Right.
seconds on radio, which is going to cost you about $125, which no radio station is going to let you do. You got to pay for a month, which you're going to wind up paying about $2,500 to $3,500 for your stuff, right? You're not going to get any results from it because it's
Facts.
playing in a market that people probably don't know who the hell you are. And when it comes to commercials, they turn off 9 times out of 10 anyway. You got to run for 6 months at least for people to hear your commercial twice.
I see.
That's branding.
Yep. I like
That's
that.
branding. You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
you got to have something catchy, a sound or a crash or
Right.
something for people to want to stay and listen to your commercial. Most people want to tell them everything in 30 seconds about their business. Let me tell y'all something. We don't care. I
Facts.
don't care about your business. I
Facts.
only care about your service or your product.
Facts. Facts. That is true. That is true. And that's why it's funny because business is evolving. It's not, and even the way I market my business, I market through creative content marketing. So you're really going to see, I mean, every once in a while you might see, call, this number, but most of the time it's something that is either a clickbait or leads you back into my funnel. Or, I mean, you find yourself all the way on my website and I've never said nothing to you about, Advantage Business Consulting. You just know, hey, this guy can help my business, but I've never said Advantage Business Consulting. I think
Right.
another good point that you brought out is people need to understand the difference what exposure is. And we were talking about this earlier.
Mhm.
Facebook charges you. If you go right now to Facebook to buy a Facebook ad and you slide it up to $1,000 for one post, because we're not talking about posting every day and running an ad every day. One post is $1,000. The maximum they say they'll reach for you is 1,300 people. That's what they say they'll reach for you is 1,300 people. So if you put that in perspective, I think that there are a lot of avenues and a lot of ways to get a ton of exposure. But I think a lot of small business owners get frustrated because they're getting exposure, but they're not converting sales. So what do you say to the small business owner that's like, Joe, I paid you all this money to be on your radio show and I haven't made no sales? Because I know you've heard that a million times.
All the time.
So what's your reply to that?
You really want my reply?
No. You smile whenever somebody smile before they start talking. You gotta tell them now. Hold on.
No, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be honest. It means that it could be a couple of things.
Okay.
Your business don't fit my platform.
Okay.
Number one, that's
Okay.
real talk, right? And for my audience, you see, my demographic is conservative, Republican, white people mixed in with a little bit of Democrats, right?
Okay.
So that make your product, your service may not fit my audience, right? Number two is, what was the intent when you paid me the money? When I talked to you, what were we trying to do? Because everybody said they want to get a sale.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, I tell people 9 times out of 10, people are gonna hear about you in the first 3 months, but you may not get a phone call. If it's summertime, right, and you got an AC company, you may get a phone call right away if people trust me and then they listening to me, listen to my commercial, so they trust me with the commercial on my show. Right. But that's a lot of conversion that has to happen. You see what I'm saying? Yep. So I would tell anybody, when the people come to me, well, your ad didn't work. I would say, well, no, did you hear it? Yes. I said, well, I promise you, 20,000 other people heard it. Right. They just wasn't ready for your product. Right. Just because you got a product on the market, that don't mean people are ready to buy from you. True. That's what people got to realize, right? Yep. We go to the store, we leave the house because we need something. And most of the time we buy what we want, but most of the time we definitely buy when we need. Yeah. Right. So your product or your service may not be in need at that time when your stuff play. You got to think about it. I'm on from 4 to 5 in the afternoon on drive time. Mm-hmm. Your ad play at 15 and 30 and 45 on my show. Well, people listening to that, you got to think about the numbers they're going to listen to that and what are their needs in that time. You see what I'm saying? So If your ad, you want to pay me enough money to pay one time on my show, you taking one chance that hopefully that your money gonna go far enough that somebody listening in that 15, 30 minute, 45 hour, they're gonna buy your, call you and remember your number. That's a lot to ask.
It is.
I mean, when you look at, when you breaking it down, because people make it seem so simple that, well, if I spend this much money, I'm supposed to get back this much money. You can put a billboard up that's sitting up there all day long. People can pass it.
Yep.
It's branding.
Yep.
They have a guy here now in Alabama. They call, I don't know if they got up in Florida, Alexander Shannara, right? He paid millions monthly for billboards. Okay, and it said, call me Alabama, but he's paid millions. So everybody knows Alexander Shannara. So when you think of lawyer, you may not use him, but he's at the top of your list. But he's paid millions for you to understand and know his brand. How much money have you spent?
Right. We got a guy
so
down
me to
here
be Joe Lockett in this business on this radio show, I have spent near $250,000. I've said that many times, right? That's why people know me. That's why I've been on national TV. But I had to pay $250,000 for people just to know my name in radio and become a radio talk show host. There's nobody to put me here. Yeah. So how much money have you really spent? Not to grow your business, but for people to know your business. That's the difference between grow and know.
Facts. I love it, man. You dropping the dimes today, man. Let me make sure this thing's recording. Okay, we got it all on tape. Yeah, we got a guy down here, Florida. His name is I can't think of his name right now, but it's like every area has that one attorney that you just hear his name over and over and over again.
Yeah, but they spend millions.
I was going to say to you, I'm gonna think of his name too. I'll think of it before we get out of here. Anyway, I was just saying to your point too is as a small business owner, for the small business owners watching, you got to think about how many times you see ads from McDonald's and KFC or any of these people of cars. Like you don't see like who have you seen an ad for advertisement from? Like rarely. Like when you think of Target and you think of major corporations or any ad, for the most part, you're seeing them several times over and over. So when even for people that are part of my networking club that are posted in my group, you still have to post with some consistency. That is important. I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but it is important to post with some consistency. And like to your point earlier, have that sales funnel where you're not just, posting to be posted, but you're converting those sales and your sales funnel is tight. So I could definitely appreciate that. So moving on is one or two more things I want to pick your brain about here.
Okay.
So moving on, let's talk real quick about the way, and this is why I really want to talk to you about this. So when we talk about you being on politics on Facebook, right? That's kind of a big deal because Facebook shut politics down on Facebook. I've worked with clients that are in CBD. You can't do CBD on Facebook like that. Or I have other clients that have had, I had one client had like a sex toy line, and one had like intimacy. You can't really say sex and stuff in advertisements on social media. So how'd you navigate that? So when Facebook came put the hammer down on you, what was your move? How did you adjust?
And this is why I said D is important for any business. Mine was difficult to navigate because I'm a political radio talk show host. But you have to see things coming. You got to know where your bread and butter is coming from and how you're going to grow your business. You know what I mean? And I was watching as Donald Trump got more and more aggressive. Facebook got more defensive, right? And so before where I could boost or things was on my page, all of a sudden they started to either stop my stuff, blocking my live videos and things of that nature. So of course I'm on radio, but I know that me being on radio and not being on social media is going to hurt my business. So I had to make a change. I had to think about what I really want to do, either get off Facebook and just be on radio and talk about it, right? But here's what I had to see, my own personal blueprint. This is why I say it's important to know your business. This is what I had to look at. I'm gonna tell you how I saw it through my eyes. Donald Trump only had 4 years in office. I'm planning on being in business forever. So I couldn't do business with Donald Trump anymore. You see what I'm saying? I had to change my business model. My business model was politics, but I had to pull away from politics and start doing political stories at the beginning of my show. But I started to talk about cultural things and relationships while Donald Trump was in office. Because I said when Donald Trump leaves, this is just me being a business person. He's so big that nobody's going to be able to come in and fill that void with Donald Trump in politics. So if I'm still doing politics, right, nobody, even if they're on social media, when he leave, they leave. So I started to build another audience already along with when he was in office and started talking about relationship and ladies and different things of that nature. And so when Donald Trump left office, man, when I say it was a smooth transfer, right? It was smooth because I pulled away from politics because Donald Trump was just saying the same thing over and over, but we all played off of it because it got us views, it got us advertisers and stuff like that. But sometimes you can go so high with a person and you got to know when to get off the bandwagon.
That's true.
And you have to know, again, this is about knowing your business, right? Facebook, YouTube, everybody changed their platform and they didn't give a damn how you felt about it. That's your business. So you have to make a decision on what you want to go do. Even if you're in CBD, you have to find a way to start doing something else that either going to work on that platform, get off of that platform and find a platform that's going to support what you're doing, right? So it's all about, these platforms are free. They don't care about you. So you got to be able to foresee your product, your business, your service on what's going to work best for you.
Yeah, I like that. And you know, and I like that a lot, the way you had to adjust. And like you said, even if you had to go to another platform, it's not the end of the world. But I think that it's intimidating to a lot of people when you tell them, hey, you need to build an audience on social media and they don't even have a page. It's intimidating. So, I mean, were you intimidated by that at all? I mean,
I was more intimidated of not having, because this is the way I look at business, D. And maybe some of the people will understand this. When we had to get stuff a long time ago, right? We had to either wait for mail, get on an airplane, or get on a ship or somewhere to go get it, or wait for it to come to us. Now it's a click away, right? So I'm more afraid of not trying with this technology that we have before it changes over and it gets too easy and it comes to something else. In every cycle in history, everybody makes their money with the inventions that were made during that time, right? There were people who made it doing mail ordering. There are people who made it that, when they got on the ship and went over and brought the gold back and brought people back, let's just use the slave situation, okay? There are some people in another country. If we go get them and bring them over, we can get some free labor. Somebody had to fund that, right? It took time. They figured that out, right? And so that's what they did. When it became something, of, okay, we can do this. Okay, people started putting their money into it, right?
Right. Yep.
Same thing with social media. Y'all have to think that we're in a history, right? We're in a period of time where things are really easy to get done. The people who make it and make them their name in itself, like in hip hop, those guys made their name back then because it was vinyl. They were selling on vinyls and they were selling CDs or cassette tapes.
Right.
Now you can't do that.
That's true. That is true. And I can definitely see, you know what, you make a good point, because I can really see them really tightening up on these platforms to where, to be honest with you, and I hate to even say this out loud. I really don't want to say this out loud, but this is what I can foresee. I can foresee where all these social media, everything's subscription based. Everything. You have to pay to be on YouTube, got to pay to be on Facebook. I mean, think about it right now. If Facebook tomorrow said, hey, it's $19.99 a month to be on Facebook. I mean, that would automatically be billions of dollars for them. And the majority of people would pay it, majority of people would pay it. So I think that things are going that way. Let me ask you this question. And I was thinking about something, this is a little off topic, but I remember when me and you first started working together. Remember we said a long time ago, hey, if we were blowing up real fast, and you're like, I think it was me or you, say, hey, I wonder where we would be in a year from now. Could you imagine that? So it's like a year from now, give or take a few months, and you got 1.9 million, man. That really makes me smile, man. I was just thinking about,
but people, if y'all ever seen us, me and Dee together for the first time, he broke me all the way down to the bare essence. And I had to, even though I'm an alpha male roof, he knew more about social media and still does than I did, right? So he told me that some things, and you guys got to go get his advice for this, but I'm not going to tell you what he did. You need to call him.
Go for
all right?
Go for it.
Huh?
Go for it.
Okay. I had a personal page, okay? And on my personal page, I was getting a lot of traffic because I'm in radio, right? So it was working. He was like, Joe, your personal page is not going to build you at the end of the day. That's what everybody does. He says it's going to hurt, but if you trust me and believe in me, right, you're going to have to start all over again. I don't know this dude, okay? Y'all don't know. I've never met him in person. We've talked thousands of times on the phone. We've done video but I've never met him in person. Here's a dude I ain't never freaking met telling me I got to start all over again, right?
Yep.
But if what I was doing wasn't working, you know what I mean? I could have stuck with my numbers and looked at my egos and get 50 or 60 views on my thing and be happy about it. So I started over. He said, you got to get a group page, right? And you got to start all over, right? And that's what I did. So my group has, I'm going to say probably 1,300, 1,400 people in there, but I get better response inside my group than I did when I was actually doing on my personal page. And with the group stuff, you can put stuff to the top. You just got more control of your
Yeah,
content.
you do. Yeah, you do.
And for a lot of people, I try to tell you, I'm gonna tell you guys this: content is king. Like you always told me, content is king.
Right, right.
And posting, a lot of y'all don't know what the hell to post,
Oh,
which
that's
means
true.
you don't know your product.
That's true.
Because see, y'all
That's
think
true.
when D tell y'all to post, y'all think y'all got to think of stuff. If you got to sit there and try to think of stuff to post for your product or your service, you don't know it. So he can't help you.
That's
because
true.
your business
That's
is
true.
daily. Your business is 365. You should be able to find and I'm gonna help y'all out because I'm in radio. Find news articles that goes along with what you're doing. So if you're in medicine, you may want to look into the medical journal and post news articles and break it down in beavis and butthead terms. Post the article. You see me do it all the time. I post the article, right? But I post my thoughts at the top of it with the emoji, right? And people will see my emoji and they respond to it. Then I see the people responding to it. Then I either respond to them on that post or I respond to them at 4 o'clock in the happy hour. So again, it's very important. And D said this, but I knew this before. This is the one thing I did know. You have to know your product. You can't expect nobody's an expert to know your product better than you. And you can't expect them to post. I hate when y'all tell people to post for you.
Oh,
that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Okay, I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
Because you're telling me to know, you want me to know your product better than I do.
Right.
There's no way he can know. He knows social media.
Right.
And he's gonna come up with some scheme and stuff that's gonna work for you.
Right.
But it's not you. Once he stops you, you need to know how to post. Even if you just say, good morning, how y'all doing? I'm getting ready to go to the gym. That is building your product. Now, when I get back, I'm going to go work on my business. That is building your brand. You see what I'm saying? When I finish working on the gym, oh man, I got to go write a business plan. Anybody know how to write a business plan? Who wrote a business plan today? That's building your product, getting people to engage with you about your business. Then sooner or later, somebody's going to ask you, what do you do again? Oh, okay, here we go. You see what I'm saying? But D can't do that for you. Joe can't do that for you. Gary V, nobody can do that for you. Even if you get on these big platforms, once you leave them, you still stuck with yourself.
That's true. I like that. That's a great point, man. Because, I see some people posting like, how do I put this? I mean,
BS.
It's just, it's not bad. It's not bad, but you got to understand that I think what some people do. And I think that, and again, I'm not, I'm a humble guy, but I'm kind of on a different level of social media if compared to a client that's just starting out on social media. So you can't, some of the stuff I'm posting is more for branding. I got my sales funnel. So you can't just post, good morning, everybody, or just a quote, just like I do, because it's a method to my madness. It's a lot more behind me just posting that quote. You don't know if I'm reaching out to people that like it. You don't know if, you don't know the method behind to my madness. So I think that when posting, you really got to have something that's linked to your brand. Or if I'm posting in my group, I can post whatever I want. It's my group, it's my brand, I own it. But when you're talking about posting and you throwing that hook out in the ocean, you got to have, like you said, you got to post something that is consistent with your brand, man. That's a really, really good point. I appreciate
everything,
that.
bro.
That's
you cannot, you taught me this, right? And I've known this, but you hammered it into my black ass, is that your personal life can't be your business life. If you want to be on your personal page, make it private and talk to your friends there. But when you're on your business page, and this is what I see, a lot of people start business pages. Y'all don't post shit on y'all business page.
That's true.
Y'all don't work the page. You have to work I work my page every single day.
Yep.
I do my own means. I find news stories. I am up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, looking for news stories. Or during the day, I find a news story, I save it for the next day. I am up constantly looking for stuff for my page to entertain people on my page to watch my radio show that evening. So at some point in that month, I'm going to sell to you. Yep. There's a point to my madness. Yep. You have, if you want to sell, there is no advertisement, D. And Super Bowl, I'm going to say, is probably the most expensive advertising you can buy.
Yeah.
Okay. And most people watching this stuff can't afford a Super Bowl ad. Okay. So if you can't afford a damn Super Bowl ad, right, you got to put the work in.
That's true.
And putting the work in, we've never been in a time, D, in history where we can put the work in ourselves.
That's true. Right. You don't really got to hire nobody. You hire somebody to help you with a few tips, but you can do it yourself,
Nobody know how to help you.
That's true.
Let's be real about that.
That's true.
I can guide you and tell you the basics, the blueprint of what you need to do. But D, you can't sit down with Joe and say in radio, Joe, you need to post like this every single day. And you need to look for this news story. You need to go see the story that happened in Atlanta. You need to go post about the Pope tomorrow. You need to go post about Joe Biden. You can't tell me that. There is no way in the world, no matter how smart you are, you can tell me what I need to know about my product or my service to help myself. You can't do that. Only person can do that is you. And if y'all ass is doing this right here, you can find a news story, right? Save it, hit share, and share it to your business page and talk about it and tell people, if you like this news story, please share. That's how simple it is, but y'all won't do it because you're afraid you're not going to get any comments or any love on it. If you got one person that like your stuff, you got an audience of one. You talk to that one person, two gonna come. Okay. When I got into radio, D, at 6 o'clock in the morning, nobody knew who I was. My good friend named Lawrence told me, he said, Joe, I need you to, before you go on air, your first time before you go, I need you to name your audience. I said, what the hell are you talking about?
Okay.
He said, name your audience. He said, I want you to have a male and a female, right? I'm like, okay, dude, whatever. All right. Okay. So I said Todd and I said Susan.
Okay.
He said, okay. He said, so when you're on air, I need you to talk to Todd. I need you to talk to Susan every day.
Okay.
And let them understand. And you talk to them so they can understand you. You make them your audience. Don't worry about nobody else.
Every day when you're talking, I like that.
You're talking to Todd and you're talking to Susan.
Yep.
Those are my two people. I didn't know who they was, but every time I got on the airway, he said, you find your news story that's going to relate to Todd and that's going to relate to Susan. So when I got on the airways, the first time I got on the airways, my goal was to talk to Todd and Susan. And guess what? My phone eventually started ringing because I continued to talk to them people, but I called my orders, I named my orders, and I knew who they were. It was just two people. Now I'm at 1.9.
I like that. That's dope, man. That's dope. That's what I'm talking about. You okay? I don't care what they say about you. You know, you're okay with me.
Hey man, y'all need to lock it in, man. I'm trying to help y'all out.
I don't care what this. That's good stuff. That's super good stuff. You were saying something else. I was thinking about this point, but it was about 100 different things I wanted to say, and I just forgot it all. Oh, I know what I want to say real quick, and then we can jump out of here. Okay. There's a space between being a total nobody on social media and being like Cardi B level famous or Obama level famous, and I think that so many people are like, well, I can't because I'm not reaching 10,000. I'm not reaching 1.9 million or 2.5 million, or my podcast doesn't reach. You got to get in the practice of converting the audience that you do reach first. If you convert 0% on 100 people, you will convert 0% probably on 1,000 people and 10,000 people too. So I just think that for so many people that are like they think that they have to do all this work to be this huge YouTuber or this huge Joe Lockett. You don't got to be all that. Like, I mean, you can get there with time, but you can start making money and be very successful before you get to that level. I just kind of want to throw that out there.
If you had 10 people and all 10 people bought and spent $100 with you, how much money you just made?
Right, you made $1,000, easy, just like that.
So I tell people is this here: entertain the 5 to 10 people that you have on your Facebook Live.
Yep.
Right? Seriously, I mean that sounds crazy. But find a way for 30 seconds to 3 minutes to entertain the people that you have in your life. For those 10 people, entertain them. If you continuously, and here's the other thing I'm gonna say to people, D, they don't put out content enough because you don't go back to a channel if they don't have nothing good on it.
Right, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? So if you're coming out every blue moon with something, I'm not gonna waste my time and click on your stuff if you come in, if it notifies me. But if you at least connected me on the same day at the same time every week, at least one, I'm going to know you got something to say. If I like what you're doing, I'm going to follow you. You got to do it every day, but you have to be, the word is consistent.
Facts.
Schedule it and make sure you do. I show up every day at 4 o'clock. Now I can call it in from the radio from my home and I can actually be in my studio at the house, right? But I come in every single day because I like to answer the phones that's sitting right here.
Right.
So I like being in studio. So I show up every single day on social media. People looking for my Messy Mondays. I had somebody call me today, man, why you haven't been doing Messy Mondays? Because I've been doing the things for the ladies for History Month. But people, I built Messy Mondays out of shit.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Messy Mondays is, right now I can tell people this. My Messy Mondays is something I created myself on my radio show. And that right there pays, that right there, people pay me $1,000 a month just to be a sponsor on Messy Mondays. And I created that on Facebook Live with some memes and coming up with some messy topics.
I know. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh man, that's a good one.
Right. And each one of those topics get anywhere from 100 to 200 engagements.
I know it. I seen it
every week.
I seen it. Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. So you have to know your product. And the other thing I'll leave with your audience with this, it's okay to make gumbo. Okay. Mean throw a bunch of shit in the pot till it tastes good. And take out whatever, right? Because you don't know what's gonna work. What started today? I started out in politics, right? But I do social issues, I do relationships, but see, I have an array of things. And you have to be, knowing your product, you have to be able to move. You got to be able to duck and move. If Facebook says you can't do this, can you stay on Facebook? If Instagram says you can't do this, are you gonna be able to duck and move? So your product has to be able to be moving. And don't be afraid to go back to old school and go back to just email. People with CBDR, right? You got the black market at your hand. You got Twitch and all these other places that you can go. Okay. So there are a whole lot of other platforms. So you got the famous platforms, you got the platforms that are not so famous. Go on those platforms that are not so famous and sell your products because what is the OMEG? I think what's his name? Harry Mack is on that platform. Okay. McGill or some shit like that. Okay. But look at the different social media platforms. There are platforms out there, man. People just hanging out, selling their stuff and doing different things. Look up Harry Mack on YouTube. Okay. Omegle is what he's on.
I haven't used that one.
Okay, exactly. But he goes on there and record himself doing freestyle rapping for people. He takes that stuff from their reactions, right? Because he's a really good freestyle rapper, and he puts it on YouTube. He puts it on YouTube every Friday. Every Friday, this guy get anywhere from 100 to 200,000 people watching his shit. Because he just went and got content that he got from people just being on Omegle doing different stuff. He's like, well, can I rap for you? Give me 3 words. And he put it into a rap.
I think I have seen that. I have seen that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's how, but he puts in the work.
Yes, it's a lot of work behind the scenes too.
You know what I'm saying? He's going through different channels saying, can I rap for you? Can I rap for you? We don't get to see how many people say hell no.
Right, that's true.
To say yes, right, and you get the reaction behind it. So he's putting in the work. So I ask you again, to your listeners, how much work are you putting in on social media?
True.
For your business. Facts. You see what I'm saying? So different products, we know Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. But there are a whole lot of other things out there, D, that if these platforms will let you do, other platforms will because they need you. You were telling me about Clubhouse. That's
Clubhouse. Yep. That's another good one.
I can go on for a day, but pretty much in a nutshell, man, if you guys look back at this video, it's a lot of good tips in there for you.
No, yeah. You, like you said, man, to your point, man, you do got to put in the work. It's different. Like you said, social media for business is a whole different animal, man. You got to work the business. You know what I mean? It's not, for entertainment, you know how we do for entertainment. We take a selfie together. It don't matter. You don't really care. You want it to do good, but you don't care. But when money is involved, your brand is involved, it's a different ball game. You know what I mean? So, all right, Joe.
Let's one more thing, D.
No, go for it. Go.
One more thing, y'all. When y'all look at celebrities, right? I want y'all to look at the difference between when a celebrity get on the podcast and a celebrity go do a live or whatever. They're already branded, so that's why they pay people to market their branding. Okay, y'all trying to be like a celebrity and y'all not already branded. So the person that's trying to market you, they got to brand you first, and it takes money and that takes time. Right. So I want to explain these things to you when you get frustrated with the person you hire. They probably really good at what they do, but they just didn't explain to you really what they have to do because they want to get your money. But Jay-Z don't have to brand. So I can hire somebody to post what I do because I'm Jay-Z and it's going to automatically do what he do. He just ain't got time to do it.
Right. That's right.
There's a difference between you hiring D Brown and he's trying to go out there and market you, but first he's trying to brand you and market you at the same time, and you want results within 3 months or 30 days. It don't work like that. I don't know.
How about within a 1 hour business consultation?
Well, in a 1 hour business consultation, right? If you don't understand the business, you know what I'm saying? If you don't understand what the hell you got to do, right? Can't nobody do that work for you, right? Facts. So I tell people all the time, when y'all using Darren Brown's services, right? He's one of the best in the business, but he gave me the foundation. But I'm gonna tell y'all, at 1.9, my black ass put the work in.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I put the work in. I called him from time to time for consultations and asked him for some pointers, but he didn't tell me what to do. He said, bro, look at it like this, what you think about this? Then I went to work. Then I went and figured it out myself. So when you consult with my man, get his knowledge, but then you go put the work in because you're the engine.
Yeah, you gotta make the play. I could be the coach. I could be the Bill Belichick, but if you're the Tom Brady, you got to throw the touchdown.
But a lot of people, bro, put that pressure on you and get mad when it don't work.
Well, that's but that's the way it goes. That's the way.
They try to come to me. So your ad didn't work. I like, well, your ad played. It did work.
Yeah, right.
It just, you know what I'm saying. the platform wasn't right, or so on
Right.
and so on, as we said before.
Right, right. Like you said, you know, if you got to throw the touchdown. Like if you miss the pass, sometimes you miss the pass, sometimes it's a bad play. But you know, you got to hit them in the numbers with the ball. Though if you throw the touchdown, you know, you can't miss the throw and then be mad at the quarterback, at the coach. But you know, overall though, man, I think 99.9% of my interactions have been awesome. Just showing people this, and I think to close out, this is information that I feel is very niche. And if you notice, if you just kind of keep your eye on the different advertisements about social media marketing and, you know, social media management, there aren't too many people that are actually showing you how to do it. They're selling you the service to do it for you. So what happened is I get your $500 and I get, you know, 5 or 10 memes and I just schedule them out. It takes me 45 minutes. But there's not too many people that are really in the education work of social media and online sales. And I think, and I'm going conspiracy theory here. So, you know, stop me well, before I say something I shouldn't. But I just think that it's really not profitable for the major corporations like Amazon and them guys. It's not profitable for them for small business owners to know how to leverage more money online. It's not, it just doesn't work for them. Even with Facebook, it's more profitable for them to have you keep coming back buying ads than for you to actually build your own audience and not need to buy any ads. So that's just my
But you know, one thing I've learned to do, man, is partner with these folks. You know what I'm saying? I partner with Facebook, I partner with YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Because whatever they give me access to, I didn't have access to before.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So if they give me access to 1,300 people, it is my job to put that 1,300 people in my sales funnel and make it work for me. You know what I mean? True. Because they have a reach across the world that as I'm growing, I'm going to get to it regardless, with or without them. You see what I'm saying? So Facebook is going to help me get there a hell of a lot faster at a cheaper price than it would for radio and TV. So I always tell people, don't not try to spend money. Figure out how to spend money on social media.
Love it. Well, Joe, it's always a treat, man. It's always a treat when we come in here. Everybody check out Joe Lockett, the Joe Lockett Show. I'm going to put the links in the description. This video will be everywhere. You know, we're going to share it to, you know, all the way to Timbuktu. And I appreciate it, man. Thanks again for coming on, bro.
Man, I appreciate it, man. You know, we got to go get that Lambo, bro.
Hey, matching Lambo trucks. All right, man.
All right, man. Love you. Have a good one, bro.
Hold on for a second. Appreciate you.